Looking for some great inspiration for fruit? Well, I've got it right here. You're gonna love it. Check out this video where I share some of my favorite ideas. Why waste your time eating imperfect fruit, right? Go for the best. Today, I'm using some of that perfect fruit to make a delicious fruit salad. It's a cantaloupe blackberry salad with mint and ginger. I'm only using a half of a cantaloupe, but you could certainly use the whole thing. Scoop out the seeds. I like to slice my melon into wedges and then cut each piece out and then cut it into 1-inch pieces. But whatever method works for you, it's fine with me if you use it. Here's a tip for you guys. Never cut fruit that you're gonna eat on a board where you've been cutting onion. It will taste disgusting. Have a little separate board, keep it for fruit only, and your fruit salads will always be delicious. Now I wanna add a little bit of lime zest, maybe a half a teaspoon or so. The floral notes that you get from the lime zest are so great with the melon. Some lime juice too. A little acidity is always fantastic to offset the sweetness in fruit salad. With melon, I love lime. It's about a tablespoon. And then grated ginger. I'm gonna peel my ginger using the edge of a spoon. Make sure your spoon is nice and thin on the edge. The thicker edge spoons do not work as well. I just peeled kind of a big piece. I only really need a teaspoon of grated ginger. There we go. All it needs is a little bit of fresh mint. Sprinkle it on. Once you give this a try, you're gonna be totally hooked. Today's recipe is apple strudel, and it's a very simple strudel using puff pastry for the dough instead of making strudel dough, which is time consuming. So you'll need 3 pounds of apples. You can use Gala or Fuji, which is an unusual apple to bake with, but they hold their shape really, really nicely. Cut your apples into thin slices right before you're ready to cook them so they don't discolor. There's no lemon juice in here to keep them from discoloring. And these apples are going to be pre-cooked so that everything comes together really quickly. So I'm going to saute these. Cook your apples, stirring around every once in a while until they soften and break down just a little bit, but don't lose their shape, about 15 minutes. When the apples have cooked down, you need to cool them down. So what I like to do is put them on a baking sheet, spread them out as thinly as possible. Let them cool a little bit first, and then you can put them in the refrigerator. This needs to cool completely, so you could do this a day or two in advance if you wanted to. Just once it was cool, transfer it to a container that's airtight so it doesn't get any weird flavors in the fridge. And then you can shape and form and bake your strudel. Leave 1 inch on either side. And then you just fold the dough in. Just fold one edge up. There's some flour on there, you can brush it off. A nice dry pastry brush is great for this. And then the second side, fold over the other side. Have your oven preheating to 400 degrees and bake until it's golden brown and bubbling, 35 to 40 minutes. You are gonna go bananas for what I'm making today. Banana cupcakes. Cheese ball, I know, but they're so delicious that you probably will go bananas. Start off by measuring your dry ingredients. 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a half teaspoon of baking soda. I like to crush out the lumps before I measure it. It's just the way I roll. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of fine salt. If you're using coarse salt, which you can, use a half teaspoon. Whisk, and then you just add your wet ingredients. First of all, I want to mash 4 bananas. The riper they are, the sweeter they are, and the softer they are, which makes it really easy to mash. You can see that these aren't super duper ripe. If you have bananas that are sitting around and they're starting to get a lot of black spots and you don't like to eat them that way, peel them, put them in a plastic bag and throw them in the freezer, and then you can use them to make banana cupcakes anytime you want. This cupcake is going to have a cinnamon honey frosting, which is super delish. Once your bananas are mashed up, you add them to the dry ingredients. And then the rest of your wet ingredients. 2 large eggs, 1 stick of melted unsalted butter, and a half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And then just stir everything together, and that's your batter. Bake your banana cupcakes in a 350-degree oven until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. 25 to 30 minutes. When your cupcakes have cooled, you can make a frosting. I've already made mine. It's a stick of butter, 1 1/4 cups of confectioner's sugar, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 tablespoon of honey. You can find the recipe on our website. It comes with the banana cupcake recipe. And I'm not just gonna stop at frosting. This cupcake's gonna get a garnish. A slice of banana. Obviously, if you're making these ahead, you're gonna wanna garnish them right at the last minute, otherwise the banana will discolor. So just a little slice right on top. Delicious. And there you have it, delicious banana cupcakes made by you from something you might have otherwise thrown away. Overripe bananas.